Hello, 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 everyone. Let's see who's going to join us this evening. All right. If you are here and joining us, please go ahead and say hello so we know who's here hanging out. And I am going to quickly share with our groups so everyone can find us quick and easy like. There it is. Okay. And groups and VIP. Okay, we are all shared out. We are good to go now. Okay, I hope everyone is having a fabulous evening. Hello, Miss Barb. Glad you made it. Hope you saw my message. Happy to see you. All right, so before we get started, we're just going to do a little bit of quick housekeeping. First off, I want to remind everybody on Tuesday, hey, Miss Kay, our new catalog goes live. Awesome. Glad you did, Barb. And again, I apologize. It was short notice. It's been a crazy busy day here, but I managed to pull it off. But this new catalog is going live on Tuesday. This will go from May to August. It's our first catalog in our new catalog. The new way the catalogs are being launched. We'll no longer have a specific annual catalog that overlaps. So catalogs will just have a lifespan of, May to August. Then we'll have a September to December. And then we'll have a January to May when this one, or April, and then this one will pick up again in May, kind of a thing. So we'll have 3 separate catalogs each year. And again, there'll be no overlaps. You won't have to be wondering or thinking about, okay, can I order out of this one? Does this one still good? We'll just have the 3 catalogs and one at a time. So I think that'll make everyone's life so much easier. Thank you for sharing and liking, Miss Kay. That does help me a lot in the algorithms. Hey, sis, glad you could make it. Excuse me. So excited that this is going live on Tuesday. We are featuring a brand new suite tonight from here. Can't open it yet. Not until after Tuesday. Once it's live for everybody on Tuesday, then I can open those catalog pages and show you. We are also into the May subscription period for Paper Pumpkin. Paper Pumpkin for May is called Sparkling Celebrations. It will create 9 cards, and they will be bold celebratory cards, perfect for invitations, congratulations, and special occasions. They're going to create 3 each of 3 different designs. With 9 coordinating envelopes, you'll receive pre-cut paper pieces in silver with silver foil. Wow, I can't speak tonight. Gem embellishments, and the coordinating colors will be Blackberry Bliss, Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Melon Mambo, Misty Moonlight, and Night of Navy and Pumpkin Pie. Your ink spot will be Misty Moonlight. So again, just a really fun sounding box that'll come to your mailbox in May. Now, the April kit, which is called Lakeside Retreat, that coordinates with tonight's suite that we're going to be sharing. So just to keep that in mind. Every month we do have a new product of the month. May is called Berry Botanical Vellum. So this is some really pretty vellum that you can add on. Once you spend $75 on a order, it does open up the product of the month availability, and you can add that to your order for just $5. So again, for the month of May, beginning Tuesday, is the Berry Botanical Vellum. It is a 12 by 12 vellum. You're going to get 12 sheets, 3 each of 4 single-sided designs. And the coordinating colors for this will be Bubble Bath, Flirty Flamingo, Fresh Freesia, Golden Glow, Hydrangea Hue, Misty Moonlight, Peaceful Pine, Soft Sea Foam, and Strawberry Slush. So some really beautiful colors will coordinate with this particular vellum. And looking at it, like this pattern here, looks like you could easily cut out individual patterns and pieces to use in your designs. Same for this one here as well. So just something to keep in mind. May we also have, in addition to our catalog going live, we will have an online exclusive drop happening. The other thing I wanted to remind everybody is as long as you are on my email list, you will be getting details about that again here in the next 24 hours. It's our Stampin' Bingo. My friend Cindy and I have paired up, and we are going to be holding next Sunday. Instead of going live here on this page and on YouTube, we will be having a private Facebook group live hosting our Stampin' Bingo. If you spend this week, in the last couple of weeks, if you had spent $25, you will get an invitation to the Stampin' Bingo. Oh, hi, TNK. Glad you could join us over there on YouTube. So spend $25 in our online store, and that does earn you to opportunity to pick 5 numbers. And for every $25 you spend, you get 5 numbers that you can select. Then we will play bingo on Sunday evening, and you'll have the opportunity to win some cool prizes. And it'll be some fun. We'll do some mystery stamping, just a whole series of things that'll be happening on Sunday evening. So again, would love to have you join us. You just have to spend $25 in either her store or mine. And yeah, we'd have fun. Oh, tell Elaine that we say hello to her. All right. So anyway, so if you're interested in bingo, let me know and we'll get you hooked up. If you don't want to spend $25 in the store, you can buy a set of numbers for $5. So you can buy into the bingo. Just got to let me know. And again, like I said, details coming out in the email tomorrow, as well as complete instructions and PDF tutorial for tonight's cards. Because again, as long as you're on my mailing list, you get those sent to you in your inbox every Monday after Sunday's live. So yeah, lots of fun coming up. All right, tonight's cards. Oh, you got to see the sweet. Did I? I don't think I put those in here. Hang on, just a minute. We got to grab. Okay. We have an awesome suite. Where did I put? Okay, I just had it with me. Is that what I heard? Fall? It is. Okay. You know, I heard something fall. It was my designer series paper. Okay, so this suite includes this beautiful designer series paper. This is called the Waterfront or Waterside Retreat 12 by 12. And the patterns in here are absolutely gorgeous. There are 2 sheets of these paneled pieces. Let me see, but I've used both of them, so they've both been cut down pretty significantly. So with these ones, I love when Stampin' Up! Does this. They give us these little panel pieces that you can cut down into individual pieces that you can make cards out of. Like this one would be a little, like 1.5 inch by maybe 2 inch piece with this little anchor. Then we have this little panel here. Then there's this panel. This is a second panel. But if you wanted to do the whole thing, it would all meat. And then you have this one. Then you have this one with a little ice cream sign. And then there's a few others that I have here that I've already cut out. And I will show you. Oh, here's the other one. Some of these pieces would make great pieces to a scrapbook if you're a scrapper. But I am a card maker. But I will show you how I used them anyway. All right. Then there's this wood panel piece. The back side having all these little nautical things that you could easily fussy cut. If you're a fussy cutter, have fun. I am not. Same thing with the fish. There's this one with the bicycles. I love that old-fashioned bicycle. The seagulls. But again, here's the fish. The back side is the seagull. Then the like waves. Then here's the colored print of the seagulls. And then on the back side of that, you have this gorgeous plaid. Love this plaid. And there's that wood green. And then here's another nautical pattern that you could easily fussy cut those little life safety vests, floating devices, and your paddles. And then this pretty striped, this kind of reminds me of a wallpaper. But again, easy to fussy cut out and use on your cards. And then, of course, the coordinating bundle that goes with it is the relaxing Waterside. So you have this beautiful stamp set, and then you have these dies here. And there's two different dies for the chair. So you have your Adirondack chair die that cuts out your stamped image, and then you have another one that you could actually cut out and create like a three-dimensional chair, sort of. You can do the Adirondack style back, or you can do just a straight back chair. So I'll show you that. And then, of course, it also comes with these trinkets. These are called the loose anchors trinkets. Let me see if I can't get this open. Of course, there we go. Look how pretty these are. Love these. I was thinking my niece makes earrings. She could probably make earrings out of these because it's got the little hole in the top of the anchor there. Anywho. Let's get started. Put this all aside. Keep our dies handy because we'll be needing those. And here are the cards we're making tonight. So these are all got a masculine feel to them, and they're all super easy. This one, the paper is doing the heavy lifting for us. This is one of the panels that I did cut out from those two sheets that have the paneled pieces. So I used that for this card. Added a sentiment and then one of those cute little anchors, and boom, this card is complete. Our second card, I made a collage out of those little paneled pieces. I used for the background the seagull tone on tone, and then I just did a little collage, and then I cut out my Adirondack chair, and then we have our little sentiment, relax. And again, I added one of those little trinkets. Is that not the cutest? And again, has that masculine flair with the Adirondack chair, the little sea, and then, of course, the fish. We've got the seashell back there. And then our final card Again, keeping with that masculine theme, we've got the paneled piece here. I have, for our sentiment, another little banner that says, here's to a new chapter. Use some twine. We have our Adirondack chair with our little seagrass and our little book hanging off the edge. Is that not a cool card? All right. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with our first card. And for this one, we have really not a lot of product here to use. Let's see. I'm trying to keep things from blowing away. I have my fan going because it got a little warm up here. All right, so I have here a thick basic white card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to bring in my bone folder, and we're going to go ahead and fold on that score line. Make sure everything lines up nicely. Just like so. Then I have a panel of Misty Moonlight. This measures 4 1/4 by 3 3/4. And then I have, again, I cut this out of that DSP, the 12 by 12 that had the individual little panels. And I trimmed this down so I had just this particular piece. Oh, good, Barb. I'm so glad you're liking what you see. All right, so this panel happens to measure 3.5 by 4. And grab our adhesive. And we're just going to go ahead and add this to our Misty Moonlight panel. So this is just going to get in like so. All right, before we add that, I do want to add my happy birthday sentiment. So I have the have a great birthday, and I have my Misty Moonlight ink pad. If you have gentlemen in your life, this is a fantastic suite for making those great cards. We have a Father's Day sentiment. There's just the word dad. So you can say Happy Father's Day, Dad. Or you could leave the dad off and just say Happy Father's Day to your spouse. Or maybe you have a son who's a dad. It works. All right, so now in the bottom right corner, you're going to stamp that Have a Great Birthday. And I'm just going to grab my chamois and clean my stamp. All right, close this back up. All right, so now I can go ahead and add adhesive to the back with my Misty Moonlight panel here. And we're now going to add that to our card. We want 3 equal borders. So it's going to go right there. And then, again, this is such a simple card because that designer paper did all of the heavy lifting for us. We're just going to add one of these really pretty trinkets. I'll go ahead and pull that out for the next card. There we go. Okay. keep opening them. But now to stick this onto our card, I'm going to grab a glue dot. I like to put one at the top and one down here at the bottom of the anchor. And that'll give us a nice, just put it right down here, like so. And that finishes our first card already. Like I said, super simple, but still really beautiful. And again, it's because that designer series paper is so pretty. And there's so much detail in it. Okay. Next up, we have our Relax card. Again, a very simple card. Not a lot of work goes into it, but I think it's a really beautiful card with this collage look. So for this one, I have another thick, basic white card base, 8.5 by 5.5, and it is scored at 4 1/4. So we're going to fold on that score line and make sure everything lines up. Like so. Using that bone folder, you want to get a nice, crisp, burnished edge. Then I have a piece of that designer series paper, and this time it's the Tone on Tone Seagulls, and this is cut 4 1/4 by 5. It is a full card front. So it's going to completely cover. So you're not leaving any border around this one. So again, we're going to take our, had a hard time, I will admit, covering this side up. I do love those old bikes. I think that's a really nostalgic, cool pattern. All right, so we want to get that on there like so and place that down. Well, thank you, Kay. Thank you, Barb. Glad you ladies are enjoying. Thanks, sis. All right, so there's that. And then, of course, from that same designer series paper, I did some cutting. And I specifically cut out these 3 little panels. So, I start with the sailboat pattern here. And I'm gonna add my adhesive. And I love this stripe on the back of that paneled piece. Gorgeous. But anyway, I digress. We're just going to add sailboats. Then we're going to take our seashell piece here. I love this one too. I think it's pretty cool. And we're going to go ahead and add this. And this one is going to go down just like that. And then we have the Fresh Fish Store piece. And we're going to add our adhesive. And we're making our little collage. This is going to overlap this whole piece. So this is going to go right about there. That looks pretty good. Go up just a smidge. There we go. So there's our collage. Then I have a scrap of basic white. That's for our sentiment. And I have some scrap pecan pie, and that's to cut out our Adirondack chair. So for our Adirondack chair, we got to grab our dies here. So for this chair, I'm using this piece here and this here piece. And of course, I guess this wouldn't be a Facebook Live or YouTube Live if I didn't forget to bring over a multitude of things, and I didn't bring over the plates. Okay, we have plates. Okay, now we can do our die cutting. So we need our plates. And we need our pecan pie. And let's run you that way and you that way. Let's see. Now we can just run it through. Just through. There we are. Oops. Okay, now, there we go. So that goes into our trash. And let's get our little pokey tool to help us. There's our Adirondack chair back. And here is our little chair. And we do save this little piece. And you'll see why. And then these little pieces go into our little trash can here. Okay. Set those aside. All right. Let's put our chair together and then we'll do our sentiment. So we're going to use a little liquid glue here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little along that top rail. And then just a smidge on that little tab right there. All right. This gets tucked in like so. There we go. And then we can just set that on there for a minute. And then while that's setting, we're going to take this little wood grain piece. Now you probably could actually put this on mini dimensionals just to give it a little more lift. But being a separate piece, it gives it enough lift, honestly, that you can tell. It makes it look more like there's a seat. It gives it a little bit of a 3D effect. All right. There is our Adirondack chair. And the other thing I like to do, there's little cuts right there that actually kind of, again, add to that three-dimensional look. So just push my arms back just a little bit. So now it has that subtle 3D look. Now I'll turn that over. I'm going to find my mini dimensionals here. And I like my take your pick tool to help. And then I'm going to put one right there. So that way it's kind of hidden. Well, thank you, Sherry. I am saying a prayer that my phone holds out because I forgot to put it on the charger this morning and I didn't get it on until 20 minutes before we were going live. So it was on like 20%. I got it up to 36%. And I'm praying we don't go dead before we finish. So there we go. So there's our Adirondack chair. So now we can go ahead and find our little trinket here. Our little, and again, one towards the top of the anchor. Oop. And one at the bottom of the anchor. There we go. And that's going to go right where all of this intersects right there. All right. Now I have my scrap piece here. And I want my sentiment that says relax. And again, we're using our Misty Moonlight. So we're stamping relax and Misty Moonlight. And we're going to go right there. Just like so. And that's stamped perfectly, if I might say myself. And then for that, I'm using the Nested Essentials dies. And I'm using the second to the smallest banner here. I'm going to use that one right there. And that's going to cut out just like so. And we're going to grab a little Post-it tape just to make sure everything stays right where it should. That looks good. All right. Okay, I'm going to run this through quickly. Okay, moving right along. And here is our relax. And of course, we need dimensionals. And part of the collage is our relax, and that completes our second card already. Well, thank you, Sherry. I'm glad you like them. All right, we're moving along. We are already on to our third and final card for the evening, and that is Here's to a New Chapter. And this one, super simple. Again, this time I have a thick basic white card base. This one measures 11 by 4 1/4, and I scored it at 5 1/2. So we're going to fold on that score line. Again, making sure all of our edges meet up, and then press that out for a nice crisp edge. All right. This time I have a panel of gray granite. This measures 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And then I have the Designer Series paper. This measures 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And that is going to layer onto our gray granite. So we're going to go ahead and add our adhesive and layer these two panels. There we are. And then we're going to add this panel directly to the center of our card base. Okay. Next, I have a few scrap pieces here for stamping and die cutting. So for this piece here, I'm going to do my Adirondack chair. So I have my Adirondack chair, and I'm going to use my early espresso ink pad for this. So we're going to go ahead and ink up our chair. Okay, looks good. There's our chair. Next, I'm going to set that aside for a minute. I'm going to bring in this here piece and also on our Misty Moonlight. And we're going to stamp our book. Just stamp that right there. All right. Next, close that up. And we're going to use our old olive. And we have our large grass. So there's our large seagrass. And then we want our smaller seagrass. And then I have, let's see, close this up. I have Pool Party. I have Pecan Pie Light. And then I have here the Golden Glow Light and Dark, which is one of our new in colors. So I'm going to set those aside for just a minute. I'm going to take the Pecan Pie, the light, and right over the old olive where the little grasses are kind of having that little, I guess they're like little seed pod type. But they look, I don't know, like they blow in the wind. They're like little finger-like type pieces on your grass. I'm going to just kind of color them in. And I'm just trying to be kind of wispy. There. Takes care of our grass. And then for my book, I'm just going to fill that in with the light Pool Party. Again, not being fussy in any way. We don't need to do any shading and highlighting. So I stamped it in the Misty Moonlight. So that takes care of that. Now for our actual Adirondack chair itself. So for this, I'm using the light Golden Glow. And again, just not trying to be too concerned about filling the whole thing in. If there's little white spaces, that's fine because we're talking about being out by the water, the ocean. We expect the paint for stain to be kind of worn. And not pristine. So just kind of flicking in both directions. And then I'll go back with the dark. Okay. See how I just kind of, and then again, it's still just being very light-handed. It's pretty good. Now we need our die for the Adirondack chair. We're going to die cut that. Then we need our large seagrass, our small seagrass, and our book. All right, now we need a little bit of tape here. Get everything lined up. There's that. Line up our seagrass. There we go. Little seagrass. And our book. Okay. I'll bring back our baby boss. Get our chair. There's our chair. I'm glad you're liking them, Barb. You know me, I don't want anything too hard. Simple is my middle name. I don't have time to do complicated cards. Do I think those complicated cards are gorgeous? Absolutely. But I have a full-time job. I have a full-time husband and house. And yeah. I don't have time to devote hours to one project. But I love getting into my craft room and having time to make a few things. So simple is how I do it. Okay, let's get our seagrass. Here's our chair. All right, it can go into the garbage. And can I fit this on here, or do I have to get that other paper? Yeah, let's just use the other one. Let's not risk it. Okay. And there's our little, just going to cut out our banner, and then we're done, and we'll stamp our sentiment, and then we can finish our card. There we go. Now all of our die cutting is complete. All right. So now we have our little banner here, and that is for our sentiment. Here's to a new chapter. We've got our misty moonlight. Go ahead, ink that up. And we're going to stamp this towards the top of our banner to leave room for our little twine linen thread bow. Okay. Now, we're going to start with our large seagrass, and I'm going to add a little adhesive. And that's going to sit right here, like so. Then we're going to bring in our Adirondack chair. And for that, I need the vegetables. And for this, doing a few. Okay. So we're just going to stick our chair right there. And then we want our little seagrass. And that's going to set like so. And we want our little book. And that book is actually designed to set and land right over the top of the armrest of the chair. Then we're going to take our sentiment. I want a couple of dimensionals for this as well. And that goes right the top of our card. And then we bring in our linen thread right to the end. Good thing I have a new roll of it. Straighten that out a little bit. I double it over so I have two. Oh, hey, Brana. I know, right, Barb? It is a bundle. It's also a suite, Brana. You get the paper. The suite gives you the paper, the bundle, and these adorable little anchor trinkets. So it's basically the easy button. Okay, my fingers are not cooperating tonight. What's up with that? Okay, we just want a little bow. That's all I want. There we go. Pull those nice and tight, and then we can go ahead and bus to get our size. There we are. Trim our tails. Blue dot. And then right under the sentiment, we place that. And that finishes our third and final card. Okay, quick recap. That was our third and final card right here. Then we have our collage relax card was in our card number 2. And then our super easy card number 1, have a great birthday. All featuring the relaxing Waterside. Absolutely, they would make great retirement cards. You are right. I mean, here's to a new chapter could be a good retirement sentiment, actually, as well as relax. But then we have, have a great birthday. You have dad, happy Father's Day, and today is your day. So it is a really beautiful set. Like I said, the designer series paper is gorgeous. And the stamp set, the bundle is amazing. Oh, absolutely, Barb. I aim to please. So glad you like them. All right, ladies, again, if you're not on my mailing list and you'd like to be, If you'd like to get the instructions for these cards, now is the time to go ahead and get signed up, because tomorrow morning the email does go out that will have the PDF printable instructions with the measurements and supply list of all of these cards. You'll also have all the information on our Stampin' Bingo for next Sunday. So again, remember, next Sunday it will not be live here on this page or on YouTube. We'll be in a private group for our bingo night. And again, it's just going to be fun. You're going to pick 5 numbers. We will pull numbers, and the first ones to reach bingo, I think we're going to do 3 rounds of bingo, 3 prizes. If you place an order for $25 or more, you automatically get in. For every $25, you do get a set of 5 numbers that you select your numbers yourself. You will let Cindy or I know what your number choices are ahead of time, and then those are your numbers. Or you can buy in for $5. And again, all the details will be in my email tomorrow. So if you are on my email list, you'll know all about it. All right, guys, that is all I have for you tonight. And I appreciate you guys so much for coming to hang out with me on your Sunday evening. I know everyone's time is precious. So again, I appreciate every second that you hang out with me. In the meantime, I wish you a fabulous rest of your evening and an even better week ahead. Till next time, bye for now, guys. Have a great night.